So we went over the different appeal options, and a lot of times veterans ask, how many times can you appeal?
So I guess the answer to that is as long as it's filed timely, then I don't think that there's a certain number of appeals that can or cannot be filed. The most important thing is that you're filing the appeals within the time frame that the appeal is due. If it's denied again, then you can file another appeal. You need to make sure you're filing the correct type of an appeal. So if it's a higher level review appeal that you filed at the regional office and you receive a denial on that, you cannot then go and file another higher level review. So if you do that, and you're really close on your time frame for your deadline, you're going to receive a notice from the VA saying that that's not on the appropriate form, and they're going to kick it back to you. If that's outside of the year deadline to file your appeal on your rating decision, you could have an issue with maintaining your effective date. So I guess the question should be more importantly, what type of appeal do I need to file and when, rather than how many times they can appeal a decision.
Yes, exactly. And then even when you have a decision from a higher level review, at that point you can submit new evidence and go into the supplemental appeal lane. But that's kind of why they call it the VA hamster wheel, is because you can just keep appeals going forever. And a lot of times, what I tell my veterans is, it's just a matter of having patience and how many tries it takes for the VA to get it right. As long as you have new evidence to submit, you can stay in the supplemental lane and kind of keep going, switch over to higher level review and have someone else look at the case and issue a decision. And then if you've kind of hit everything that you can at the regional office, then as a last resort, you can appeal up to the board. But I tell my veterans, staying at the regional office is what we want to aim for right now because of those wait times. It's just a matter of, again, like you said, when you get that higher level review, what new evidence can you submit? Whether it's a statement, just talking about your symptoms, talking about the severity, or new treatment records, that also counts as new and relevant evidence. And so every time you submit something, you can just keep that appeal going until they finally agree with you.
And then we file it to the board, and then voila, the board grants a remand, and they send you back down to the regional office, and then you're back at the regional office for more development, and then eventually you may go back up to the board. So it's definitely the hamster wheel that you were describing.
Yeah. And if you do get a board decision that you're not happy with, at that point you have two options. You can appeal up to the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. We call it the CAVC. And at that point you have 120 days to file the appeal, but you can't submit new evidence at that point. It's just when it's a matter of law that you feel that the veterans law judge made an error or mistake. But you can go back to the supplemental claim lane with new evidence and kind of start again. And as long as it's within that 1 year of the BVA decision, you keep your effective date and you can keep it going. But then the main thing to know is that you can't appeal into higher level review once you've gotten a board decision, because it's kind of like, the board said what they said. You can't have someone else at the regional office challenge what the board has said.
Sure.
Yeah.